evening, everybody, and welcome. So nice to see everybody in the room this evening. I hope you're enjoying your food and your beverages. My name is Bridget Quinn. I'm the president and CEO of the Hartford Public Library, and I'm thrilled to be with you. After 2 long years of not seeing faces and not being together and trying to recreate the magic that's in this room online, which I think, had varying successes, but being here this evening just feels so good, and I just want to really thank you for being here. And I also want to thank everybody that is watching us virtually, who was not able to come or didn't feel comfortable, but is with us online, virtually, and in spirit. I do need to tell you that this is being broadcast. We're live streaming on Facebook and other platforms, and Public Access TV is here and wanted me to just remind you that by being being in this room and being broadcast, that your likeness may be broadcast out on the world today. So just FYI, in case you need to be blurred or put your sunglasses on or put your mask back on. But I want to thank Public Access TV for doing that for us this evening. It's a wonderful thing to be able to offer. So welcome, welcome, welcome. Today, as you notice, a little bit of different format this year. So a little bit more casual, a little bit more networking. We're going to keep the program really short and focused on the key content, because I think you're going to be so excited to see that. But I do want to acknowledge and give some thanks, because events like this don't just come together quickly. It takes a ton of people, and also, there's some people in the room that really do need to be thanked for the work that they do. And so I first want to say and acknowledge that we've got Thea Montanez here from the city, the Chief Operating Officer and Acting Mayor. Teresa Hopkins-Stanton from Eversource Energy Foundation and the Vice President of Corporate Citizenship and Equity is here with us, and you'll hear from her shortly. I want to say and acknowledge and thank deeply my board. They are an incredible group of people. We have our chair, David Barrett, and our vice chair, Phyllis Shakora, here. They could wave, and then if I have a number of other board members that are in the room, if you could wave or stand up just so people can see you. These people give so much to this organization, and they are just amazing. Of course, a huge thank you to the Beyond Words Committee. A little wave from the committee members. Thank you so much for putting this together. Our corporators, we've got a ton of corporators, and people ask, what is a corporator? Well, a corporator is a group of people that love the library and work on our behalf as advocates, as friends, as people that come to events, and we really thank you for your support and what you do for the library. We have a tremendous staff, so just a blanket, amazing, good job, wonderfulness to my colleagues at the library, but especially tonight, that team that's back in the corner, Liz Castle, Kashif Chaudhry, Nelson Laura, Nigel White, Russell Blair. You guys, you're the stuff. And then every other staff member that's here helping with volunteering this evening and checking people in and doing the vaccinations. You've just been fabulous. And of course, this wouldn't be Beyond Words if it weren't for Gilda Roncari and Kate D'Italia. So for anyone that has joined us in the past for these, you'll undoubtedly remember that Mayor Luke Bronin offers inspiring, welcoming remarks. Mayor Bronin is a stalwart supporter of the library, served on the library board for a number of years. I feel so fortunate to work with a mayor who knows and appreciates the power of a well-supported library and the impactful programs that we can bring and we can deliver to the residents of Hartford together. As many of you know, the mayor is recovering from surgery, and he's unable to be with us tonight. I know he's here with us in spirit, though. However, I'm so pleased to welcome the Chief Operating Officer and Acting Mayor, who is also a former HBL board member and board chair. Thea Montanez works tirelessly behind the scenes on behalf of all of us, and I can't thank her enough for her partnership and support. So please join me in welcoming Thea Montanez to the podium.
Hi, good evening. It's so great to see so many friends. I'm really happy to be here. As you know, Mayor Bronin underwent surgery on Saturday, and I'm really happy to report it was successful. The night before his surgery, I met with him and his wife Sarah at their home, and as I was walking out the door, he yelled after me, "I can't wait to hear your remarks at the Hartford Public Library event." So please know he was thinking of you right before his surgery, and so here I am. Thank you to all of you attending in person and virtually, including, I believe, Hartford Councilman John Gale is here, as well as Bloomfield Deputy Mayor Greg Davis, two-term Bloomfield Mayor and Councilwoman Suzette DeBatham Brown, and Councilman Shamar Mayhem. I feel very fortunate to be with all of you here tonight to celebrate all the reasons that make Hartford Public Library the best library system in the country. Oftentimes, when I speak about the importance of the work that's being done by the library, I tend to talk about the reasons why it matters to members of our community. But tonight, I wanted to tell you what the library means to me as both a Hartford resident and the Chief Operating Officer of the city. As a resident, the library is where I go to exercise my right to vote. It's where I went just 2 months ago when I needed a passport to explore the world. It's who I asked to exhibit a photo project I created with my cousin so we could tell our story and the story of all those people who have been impacted by the criminal justice system. The library is also where I first met Luke Bronin when I was the library's board chair and he was interested in serving on its board. As the Chief Operating Officer, it's the first place I think of when we need help to help our residents because we can't do that alone. It was the library that agreed to administer our municipal ID program so residents in need of an identification could more easily get one, like those persons coming home from incarceration. It was the first place I thought of when Officer Barrett, the police department's homeless outreach officer, needed a place to work with his clients. It's also the place where I often find hope and inspiration that fueled my passion for this work, because there is many things about this city that I love and that inspire me, but there are certainly days when I find things about it that break my heart. There are certainly days during my time here that I don't feel like I'm doing enough or I'm not doing it well, and those are the times I step away from my desk and I go for a walk. There have been 2 times at least when I've left City Hall to go for that walk, and I bump into a parade of very little people, maybe 4 or 5, and they are all holding hands. And these beautiful, bright faces are covered with these big smiles, and they're all going into the library. And I know that they have access to a space that is safe, that is filled with opportunities for them to learn and grow, and there is staff that will greet them with kindness. It's those times that I receive the reminder I need to keep pushing, no matter how hard it may be. The reason those children and their families and all members of our city have access to that space, that sacred space, is because of all of you and the role that all of you play. I am especially grateful to Bridget, who is one of the best things that's ever happened to the library. There are so many times that I have sat in my desk wondering, what am I going to do? And I pick up the phone and I call her, and she never once has ever told me no. Instead, she tells me she will figure out a way to yes, and I am so grateful to you for that. I'm also grateful to the hardest working group of board of directors I've ever met in my life. It is the Hartford Public Library's board of directors, so thank you all. And I'm especially grateful to the staff for everything that you give each and every day, for always showing up, especially during the past couple of years, which have been the hardest, I think, for so many of us. I'm grateful to all of you. We are a grateful city for the role that each of you play in supporting the best library system in this country. Thank you.
Well, for anyone that knows Thea, it takes a lot to get Thea up on the podium. She doesn't like to do this, so thank you, Thea, for being with us this evening, and you are amazing. And we would not be here this evening if not for the support of some amazing and just such generosity from our corporate partners. Eversource is our presenting sponsor this year, and we have the great privilege of having Teresa Hopkins-Stanton as our honorary chair for this evening. Teresa is, as I mentioned, president of Eversource Energy Foundation and vice president, corporate citizenship and equity. She's a UConn grad. Go UConn. She earned her BA in sociology and went on to earn a JD at UConn School of Law, and began her career at Eversource in the legal department as senior counsel and assistant corporate secretary. Several years later, she became president of the company's foundation and director of corporate community relations, developing programs to assist limited income customers. Today, she continues to lead the Eversource Foundation and also serves as VP for Corporate Citizenship and Equity. Eversource has demonstrated its commitment to Hartford Public Library and the people we serve through their generous support of this event, and also as a major donor to the new Park Street Library at the Lyric, which is amazing. Go see it if you haven't. We are so grateful for Eversource's support and for their continued partnership. Please help me welcome our honorary event chair, Teresa Hopkins-Stanton.
Thank you, Bridget. I'd also like to thank our many distinguished guests in the room with me, as well as those watching from either home or their office. Welcome everyone to Beyond Words 2021. I'm honored to be the honorary chair, and Eversource is proud to be the presenting sponsor at this year's event. We like to go above and beyond to make a positive impact on our communities. And that's the same mission we all share this evening by taking part in this great event to support the Hartford Public Library. It has been a busy year at HPL with the reopening of branches and the return of in-person programming and services that are so vital to the health of our community. That is why Eversource was honored to support the construction of the new Park Street Library at the historic Lyric Theater. And to sponsor the new Eversource Community Room, a room that will serve as a gathering place for the Frog Hollow community for many years to come. In fact, the Park Street Library at the Lyricus has already hosted many programs, including domestic violence awareness events, a celebration of Latinx poets during Hispanic Heritage Month, and a program honoring neighborhood heroes who had been depicted in a mural near the library. I'm proud to say, and not surprised, that my Eversource colleague and friend, Ana Alfaro, is shown on one of these murals. Ana? It also has the largest Spanish language collection of any Hartford Public Library branch. More than 2,000 new items have been added, and 40% of the titles ordered were in Spanish. Yes, that's worth applauding. Libraries are a fundamental part of the fabric of any community. They are centers for education, innovation, and engagement. They serve all people of backgrounds, ages, and interests and foster life learning. Eversource is proud to be a part of all that this institution represents to Hartford and the state of Connecticut. And I thank every one of you for your own generous support of Beyond Words 2021 and the Hartford Public Library. With that, I'll turn it back over to Bridget. Thank you, and have a good evening.
All right, and I think you win the award for best boots. Oh my. my whole table is admiring those. Those are amazing. So thank you to Eversource, thank you, Teresa, and thank you to all of the other sponsors that have made this possible, and our principal sponsor, Global Atlantic. Your generosity is overwhelming and so appreciated, and we really do take great pride in being stewards of that investment to turn it back to our community and to provide so many amazing things for the people of Hartford and the people that come into our libraries. So tonight's program, I'm so excited to bring this to you tonight. Tonight's program is a showcase of something different. You know, we usually have an author that speaks, which is wonderful, but today we wanted to showcase one of our own, a Hartford Public Library staff member who we're just thrilled to have part of our Hartford Library family. It's my pleasure to introduce you to Christopher Brown. And it's only a matter of time before you will be able to say, I knew him when. I met him at Beyond Words. Although I hope he will be part of the HPL family for many, many, many years to come. Christopher is a Hartford native. He graduated from Trinity with a BA in English and went on to earn a master's in fine arts from NYU's Tisch School for the Arts. After living in LA for a number of years, he recently returned to Hartford to our benefit and now serves as the Albany branch and community hub manager. We are so proud to have him as a member of our team. He's a writer, he's a storyteller, he's a filmmaker, but really he transcends any label that you would put on him. But it's also his experience at the Trinity College Library of Music, Media, and Technology, at the NYU BOPS Library, and the Tisch School of Art Digital Media Library. He's got librarian creds too, so it's all good. At NYU, he began working with a guy you might know. His name is Spike Lee, the founder of 40 Acres and a Mule Filmworks. And in addition to assisting Lee with television and film productions, Christopher assisted in the cataloging and archiving of 30 years of film production history. Christopher was a production assistant on The Birth of a Nation in 2016. The film won a Sundance Grand Jury and Audience Award. Most recently, Christopher served as an associate producer on Nate Parker's 2018 new digital media series Baselines and as second unit director on Final Frequency in 2019. Christopher has a vision to create a dream academy at the Albany Branch Library, to create a place for Hartford's young and young at heart to explore and learn more about literature, about reading, about storytelling, art, film, writing, design, production. He's an exceptional role model and an inspiring human being who credits reading, libraries, and the unconditional support of a librarian as part of his path to success. And I also want to note, too, that what you'll see this evening, or glimpses of what you'll see hopefully in a few months, would not have been possible without the support of Bob and Margaret Patricelli, who are here this evening. So I'm just so thrilled to be able to share that with you, and the Mandel family. So thank you to them for making this possible. And now, please join me in welcoming Christopher Brown to the podium.
Thank you kindly, everyone, for coming. I appreciate your support, and I hope you enjoy the show.
Charlie, take one. Mark. And Cut! Give me a. So we're getting her mic'd up, but then let's run like we were talking about here. So it's really low. The sound is really low.
We really wanted to have somebody there that had a vision and was creative and as and could connect with the community as well as the young people there. But we're also a library that is, setting the bar for urban library services across the country. To show how important libraries are, and so that other cities can use our models and use us as an example. At the beginning, I was calling it a video. When we were thinking about what this video could be to showcase libraries, and the Hartford Public Library really started much more modest. And as he started to honestly teach me through this experience what filmmaking was all about. Well, money's always an obstacle, right? So the fact that we've been able to create this amazing work on the shoestring budget that we have is a huge testament to Christopher and to everyone behind the scenes who are owed a great deal of thanks and appreciation for making this happen.
What attracted you to the project?
Well, you asked me to do the project, and I felt like I was helping my homeboys. So I wanted to support you, and it didn't matter really what it was, but then when I read it and I saw that it was, helping people to understand the power of reading, it also felt like it was a really good project to be a part of. So there were two things. It was you, and it was the content and the story, and the purpose.
It was a feel-good story told well. And it was written like a professional who doesn't have any resources. There weren't car chases, and there weren't 7 locations and hair, heavy makeup. There was no distractions, no frills. It was just story. And that's admirable.
Well, Thoughts or Things came to my attention by just how the books affected my character's role. How it affected his life was like so amazing to me, and that just pulled me in to where it was like, I gotta do this. This is like so cool. When I first started shooting it, I knew why I didn't have lines, and I progressed from there. And it was because of his emotions and how, like, the thoughts are things. That's the name of the movie, and that actually helped my acting. And from there, I used my thoughts to show my emotions, because my thoughts activate my face, and whatever I'm thinking happens. So that's how I got through it.
So, boss. So we're getting her mic'd up, but then let's run like we're.
I called you, and I was like, Christopher, no, I'm not, I can't, it's too, no. I'm very sensitive to perpetuating stereotypes. I loved the representation of Black men in Thoughts or Things. I loved the relationship with the Black man and his daughter. It was just all things right. And ultimately, I did it because it wasn't a random thought. It wasn't just something that you decided to throw in there or put in there, and that's just how you decided this Black woman would be portrayed. It wasn't that at all. It was a lot deeper. There was meaning and purpose in it for you, and because it gave it that for me.
People involved in this project are people who'd had very close long-term relationships and friendships with our writer-director, Chris. I think gave him probably a sense of comfort and ease, knowing that he, I imagine intentionally, handpicked each one of us because he felt comfortable with us. He knew he could trust us. He, there was maybe to some extent a sense of shorthand, so that on the day everyone sort of knows subconsciously that you're working with people who have your back, who like you, and who are nice and kind and pleasant, and who want to support the filmmaker in every way that we can.
The fact that Chris was able to get major Oscar-winning talent to participate in this is all on Chris. I mean, the story, again, is beautiful, but the story comes from Chris. So but Chris's perseverance and, like, for me and for others, I'm sure the willingness to work for him is because of him, his attitude.
So the level of humanity that he brings to things is his own. Chris is very eccentric and energetic and passionate and devoted and also loyal. So when you have like that kind of a mixture in a guy, like walking around set, really dialed into every single person, pretty easy. He did a really good job of having conversations individually with you, right? If he needed something from you, it wasn't this agitated, public, vague conversation. It was a amicable, calm, respectful, dialed in conversation. You're seeing cuts of us doing things, and I promise you 5 seconds before that we were talking to Chris.
I just need that second between a list of misdemeanors, so I can go to jail a little while.
Okay.
Because the majority of people who watch it are gonna think automatically you're looking for a book.
Yeah, 100%. Okay.
We learn as we move through the entertainment industry is that storytelling is a great leveler. That artistry is, people are attracted to artistry. They're not attracted to status. They're not attracted to the awards that people might have or the fame they may have. What they're attracted to is the opportunity to tell a story that means something to them. Felt that, I was surprised that it brought tears to my eyes. I was like, I've read this script how many times? Why is this happening to me right now?
Supporting you as a director was very similar to how I started, Spike and the rest of them, they'd write and direct and then they pull a crew together. And so it felt very familiar to my my origins. I remember giving your daughter a sweatshirt that had letters all over it. And when I found that sweatshirt, it just felt like it was right for this project. It's this story, this screenplay. I mean, I put you in a lab coat. I mean, I can't say, that's but it was nice to see that you were also going to perform as well as direct. You were focused, and it was nice to see that, energy, that commitment, that storytelling. I really could see, especially when I got to set that, you really knew what you wanted, and you wrote a great script, and you really put the people in place that you needed to support you. And I think that shows on screen.
Thank you.
Your directing was really, really perfection.
He brings out the best in people, and they want to work with him to tell stories.
My dad stands on reading a lot. He stands on concepts. You guys are gonna see a lot of his daily concepts. Thoughts are things I feel like is based on him and how he perceives life overall. So I believe he brought this movie into life. This is his imagination on screen.
When people show passion, when people show talent, that's what you need to invest in, right? And sometimes you have to take a leap of faith. My advice is find them the money.
Hi, I'm Andrew Diaz-Matos, and I've been on the board of the library for 7 years. I'm pleased to support the library because it is truly a place like no other. Everything from arts, culture, and education to immigration services and job help. I'm in the fortunate position to be able to support the library with $5,000 to fund the mission this year, and I hope you'll give generously too.
A ship lost at sea for many days finally saw a friendly vessel. From the mast of that unfortunate vessel was seen a signal. Water, water, we die of thirst. The answer from the friendly vessel at once came back. Cast your bucket where you are. And a third and fourth signal for water was answered. Cast your bucket where you are. The captain of the distressed vessel, at last heeding to the instruction, cast down his bucket and came up full of fresh, sparkling water from the mouth of the Amazon River. To those of my colleagues and peers, thoughts are things. For out of our own creative genius, we make ourselves what we want to be. Follow always that great law. I say cast your bucket in youth programming at the Hartford Public Library. Cast down your bucket in financial resources to build stronger community partnerships. Cast down your bucket in the bridge at Albany, which is really just that, a bridge, connecting Hartford children and families with new ways of interacting with technology. It's a plan to close the digital divide in our community and in our poorest census tracts. Cast down your bucket in making Albany branch the central nervous system of technology and opportunity in the North End. Cast down your bucket in making Albany a safe place to dream. Before I bid you good night, I will leave you with a quote from James Allen's As a Man Thinketh, which is the book that the librarian gives the little boy in Thoughts Are Things. None is more gladdening or fruitful of divine promise or confidence as this. Man is the master of thought, the molder of character, and the maker and shaper of condition, environment, and destiny. Let God in the sky be our limits, and eternity our measures. Thank you for your time.
Chris, can I hire you away from the Hartford Public Library? Come work for me. So good evening, everybody. My name is Tim Sullivan. I'm probably most prominently known as the son of Tim and Jerry, or the husband of Emily Noel. I'm here tonight to kind of finish off something that's already been started. If you could take a moment to get out this book. You may have to share them. I'm not sure there's one for everybody at the table. But if you could open up to page 6. My understanding is that there's 2 ways to cast down your bucket this evening. Right? So one of the ways to cast down your bucket was to send a check in ahead of time. And the other is to get out your checkbook right now. On page 6, we have the list of individuals who cast down their bucket ahead of time. Now, some of them are in the room tonight, and we want to acknowledge and recognize them. Some of them were fraidy cats about getting COVID, so they stayed home tonight and didn't get the spirit of the room. But all in all, we're still happy that they were willing to give to us this evening. What we need to do is we need to figure out how much money we can raise tonight to keep alive the spirit of Hartford. The spirit of Hartford lives in the children in our city. The spirit of Hartford lives in a young Chris Brown or a young Percy, and it's there And what they need is they need a catalyst. You are the catalyst. You are the ones that provide the funding to turn on the lights. You are the ones that provide the funding to bring an artist or a storyteller or a reader into their lives. The place is easy, the Hartford Public Library. It's in our hardest hit communities throughout the city. It's open to everybody. There are no restrictions. What we need to do is we need to make sure that those of us in the room that have the capacity can cast down our buckets and make sure that they have the resources they need to do their job. So I want you to join me tonight as we go through this list and think about where you want to cast your bucket. So the first level of donors are what's called novel donors, and those individuals gave at least $5,000. So I want to thank Beth and Rick Costello, Andrew Diaz-Matos, Sarah and Jim Needham, and Belle Ribicoff. As you know, Belle's one of the legendary people in this community right here. And I believe that Bob Patricelli has a birthday today, is that correct? All right, Bob. And I think that Margaret has diverted his birthday gift, and she wants to give his birthday gift in a different way and on behalf of somebody else, even though it's Bob's birthday. So Margaret, you want to tell us what you're going to do?
Yes, we'd like to donate $1,000, especially in honor of Belle Ribicoff.
Okay, so $1,000 in honor of Belle Ribicoff. So thank you for that. Is there anybody else in the room that would like to make a donation at the level of novel? $5,000?
I'll make a $1,000 donation.
$1,000 donation, thank you very much. Anybody else? We're going down, we'll do novel, poetry, and chapter all together. Anybody want to give a gift of at least $1,000? Okay, Greg Davis, thank you. Hold on, where's Shamar go? Oh, we start asking for money and Shamar runs out to the bar, is that what happens? Shamar was my former student at Classical Magnet, so I can give him a hard time. Terry?
We'd like to give an additional gift of $1,000.
Awesome, thank you. Kate and Terry D'Italia. Anybody else?
For Bob Patricelli's birthday.
A birthday gift on behalf of Bob Patricelli. All right, thank you. Okay, we got two groups of people at the table. There we go. The Taylors, the Condrins. Who's that? Fitzgeralds. Thank you very much. All right. Oh, the Gales. Anybody else want to give a gift of at least $1,000? Thank you, sir. Anybody else? The Sullivans? I think that's the Sullivans over there, isn't it? Okay. Dad, don't mind putting Junior on the end of that check. They won't know the difference. Anybody else? All right, well, that's great. I think based on what I just heard, it looks like we are up around $65,000 that we've raised for the library today between the money that was given ahead of time and the money we've got right now. So that's great, that's great. If you could look on the back of your program, there's a QR code. You can use the QR code or you can use this cute little envelope here and make a donation. I know there are lots of people in the room that want to make a donation that's less than $1,000. This is a great way to do it. If you just made a donation for $1,000 or more, this is a good way to do it. Do it electronically, get it taken care of. And I want to thank you so much for your support of the library being a catalyst for storytelling in our city and for casting down your bucket. Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you to all your generous support. We really, really, really appreciate that. And David and I are here to say thank you. David, would you like to say a few words?
Well, I think I'm going to ad lib for a minute. This is awesome. So if I'm right, my entire table has donated extra. So thank you all. This is great. You've heard a lot of this before, but on behalf of the Board of Directors, I've only been the chair since October, and I'm following in extremely large shoes of Mr. Davis. Where is Greg? Over there, but he's now, while he stays on the board, he's now lending his talents to Bloomfield, although sometimes he wonders what he's got himself into. I want to thank you for your joining us this evening for this very special Beyond Words. This film that that Christopher has made is a remarkable film. It's being entered in a few film festivals and will be visible. You'll be able to see it starting at some point in 2022. And I think it's inspirational. And I think it demonstrates that Hartford Public Library is a place like no other, and it's a place for all. Recently, a neighbor in the west end of Hartford, where I live, asked me if libraries weren't an anachronism because, hey, people don't take books out anymore. And when I explained to him all that Hartford Public Library does to enable lifelong learning and skill building, and the tens of thousands of visitors we have each year, he was taken aback. And that's what's really remarkable. So thank you to all of you who are here in the room and to all of you who are viewing remotely. You are helping us continue this essential work. Your generosity and your support is critical and appreciated. Because of you, we can and will continuing to be a world-class library and to bring world-class library services to the people of Hartford and those of the greater Hartford community. Tonight's program demonstrates the transformative power of libraries. More specifically, it shines a light on the people who are the heart and soul of our libraries, our employees, whom I have gotten to know. I'd like to ask everyone who is a staff member at the library to please stand up so we can recognize you. All of you inspire, you mentor, you listen, you advocate, and you cheer. You are the foundation of the library, which is a community center from which opportunity grows. And before I turn the microphone back to Bridget to close the program, I would like to offer a personal thank you to two people. One is a woman I have known for a very long time. She is very, very special. Her dedication to the library is unparalleled. And so for one more time, Kate D'Italia, would you please stand up for a round of applause? And the other is to my right, Bridget, our President and Chief Executive Officer. Every single day, I see examples of her vision, her imagination, her inclusivity, her inspiring leadership. I assume all of you know who Gino Auriemma is, yes? Well, he once said, when asked about the key to his success, we have Diana and they don't, referring to Diana Taurasi. Well, we are blessed because we have Bridget and they don't. Thank you.
Oh, stay. That's it. Thank you, David. Thank you all for being here. The bars are still open. There's still dessert outside. Please stay, mingle, have fun. Thank you all so much for being here. Thank you to Teresa, to Thea, to Christopher. Go talk to him before you leave tonight because sometime, you may not have a chance soon. He's going to be too famous. But we really appreciate everything you've done. Thank you to my amazing crew and for everybody putting this together. Enjoy the rest of the evening. Thank you.